Anything in the public eye is never easy because you have to deal with opinions, commentary from everyone, having their say about your life that they know absolutely nothing about. They don't live it every day. So yeah, it was a difficult journey, but I think mentally and emotionally, I was ready for it because, as they say, which is 100% true in my case, that when a woman decides to leave her marriage, she has mentally and emotionally left way before, So that was true in my case.
Hi guys, this week on Life Lately, we are joined by the ever so beautiful Lucille. You were born Lucille Slafa, then you became, you've been at Home Affairs.
Yes, I've been.
And then you became Lucille Gumbi, and then you became now Mrs. Lucille Dandara.
Yes.
Businesswoman, mom, you wear so many hats, globetrotter, like everything. What do you not do?
There's a lot I don't do. What do you mean?
You are busy. She is busy, this woman. She is an amazing second mom to my kids, by the way. She's just phenomenal. But today we're going to talk about the interesting part of her life, which is...
There's such a thing. Okay.
Okay, everything is interesting, but where do we start? Tell us about Lucille, the child that grew up in Wentworth.
Yes.
Gogo's child.
Gogo's child, yes. Yeah, what do you want to know? Jeez, okay. Born in Wentworth. No, was I born in Wentworth? Yes, I was. Not actually.
And I'm going to phone Auntie Pinky.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, that is my roots are from Wentworth, Durban. I am a 42-year-old mother of, well, now 4. We'll get to that. But yes, I'm an entrepreneur in the marketing space, and I'm currently, living I'd say my better half of my life that God intended for me. So I am really rooted at the moment in, just living my best life. So yeah, that's me right now.
I heard someone say that when you turn 40, you've lived almost half your life.
Yeah.
So you've lived half your life and you've began a do-over, as you and Mr. Dandara called.
Oh, yes.
You guys called it a do-over. But before we get to that exciting part, you guys, it wasn't easy for you to go through a public divorce, the one that we all had to witness and be part of. Well, I'm much closer to you, so it was not even like a PR thing. It was very personal. You had little boys.
Yes.
How was that like, navigating your divorce publicly?
I mean, yeah, anything in the public eye is never easy because you have to deal with opinions, commentary from everyone, having their say about your life that they know absolutely nothing about. They don't live it every day. So yeah, it was a difficult journey, but I think mentally and emotionally, I was ready for it because, as they say, which is 100% true in my case, that when a woman decides to leave her marriage, she has mentally and emotionally left way before, So that was true in my case. So when it eventually got to the point where it was like, no, definitely we're done. Let's, move on. It was, there was already an expectation that, okay, so you got to deal with everybody being in your business, people asking questions, what happened, wanting to understand, wanting to, give their advice, wanting to give their commentary. So you kind of already expect it, Yeah, so, but honestly, I think that because I was at peace with the decision, it was a lot easier for me to navigate. And it was really just about trying to find now a balance for my kids, because my kids were not ready for it.
Yeah,
They
it was-
didn't have
yeah.
time to mentally and emotionally prepare for it. And they are equally affected
Yeah.
by it, you know. So it's now, you know, it's less of a burden of having to make sure I'm okay, because I was okay. And it was now spending the time and the energy making sure that my two boys were okay, you know. So and I think, yeah, they were okay. They didn't, you know, yes, there were challenges, and they both had their own separate journey that didn't look the same for both of them. They dealt with the loss, because losing a family unit is a loss, a big loss for kids, because that is what they've been, you know, the structure that they've idolized. Well, firstly, they grew up into it.
Yeah.
They were born into it. And they lived through it for the most part of their childhood, and that's all they knew.
Yeah.
So them having to adapt to a new normal, you know, it's a loss for them, because I mean, yes, divorces, everybody goes, like, there's a lot of families, they were not special children,
Yeah.
but it was a new thing to them. It was something that they needed to understand and they needed to navigate. And yeah, but I think we did a fairly good job of, you know, making sure that the boys got through.
Yeah.
You know, I won't say we made sure they didn't suffer, because they were suffering. They did go through pain. They did go through hurt, you know, on their own. So, you know, it was just making sure that we help them navigate those feelings, so that they, you know, continue with life and become normal children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, 100%.
Easier said than done. But I'm so privileged to have been close by, you know, to witness your guys' transition as a family. I also, you know, I don't know that I can say I'm friends with your ex-husband, but he's in my life also because our children are friends. And Shem, you guys handle it so well, and he's very present in the boy's life ever since he's always been. And you guys are good. I don't know how you do it, but big ups to y'all for it's not perfect, but you guys make it look so easy because of the boys, and I'm very proud of y'all with your current spouses, both of y'all. It's amazing to watch, friend, and I'm very proud of y'all.
Yeah, no, it just takes time, you know, because it's not trusted. We didn't wake up to the status quo today.
Yeah.
It was not the status quo when we just, you know, separated. And transitioning into that, I firmly believe that this process, there's no quick fix, and it does require time, and it does require healing, you know, and it does require, you know, each person in the equation giving the next some grace and understanding to give them the time to also go through, you know, because it does not mean because I was ready and I made that decision that he was ready, you know. So he have been at a different place at the time, and his journey also looks different. So, you know, he needed to give me the grace to deal with it the way that I needed to deal with it, and I needed to give him the grace to also go through his own process, whether his process involved screaming, shouting, being angry, or being loving, or being whatever it is. I needed to give him the time and the space and the grace to go through it, and here we are.
10 years later. It's almost 10 years, right?
Well, I'd say about 8.
Yeah.
8, yeah. It's about 8 years, yeah.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. So yes, definitely we have to be here now.
I know. Wow. Okay. Please, because I've been getting DMs, everybody will say, please ask your friend, how did you find love again? I can bet you right now, people are just like, thank you, we're going to get the manual. We're going to get the manual today.
There's a do-over for everybody out there who needs it.
Okay, but first tell us from healing, because we have to take the baby steps. It wasn't like this, and you have to learn to trust again from letting go of what you thought was your forever, and you heal. Therapy, I know there was therapy. How did you let yourself trust again to say, I'm gonna welcome love?
Well, I needed to learn to not forgive myself, but to start trusting myself. Because, when you go out of something thinking, sure, but did I make a mistake? You start asking yourself a whole lot of questions, trying to understand your own thought processes and your own decision making and things like that. So, it was really a case of, in the process of, okay, I'm leaving, it's like, this is it's not the mistake of your life. It's the journey that God put you on. I met my ex-husband when I was 9. I think I just turned 19, so we were together, since 19. And I think when we separated when I was, I think, 34. 34 years old. So it was a long time together. And, it was really just introspecting of what I needed when I left. What is it that I now needed for myself to rebuild myself, figure out, what it is that I want out of life. Because when I met him, it was nice. It was great. I felt pregnant at 22. We had our first baby then. I knew nothing. I was wet behind the ears still, And this is what I just thought. It was married, picket fence. Let's build a family. Let's, my life very earlier on in life became about somebody else. It was very little about me, because you get into this even from a career perspective. By then I was already a mother, so it was not really about following a passion or I went into insurance. That was definitely never my passion. But I needed to put food on the table. Now I'm building a family. We need to get a house. We need to have cars. We need to be able to pay. So I never really got to follow a career path that I was passionate about. It was about being a mother, being a wife, being a contributor to a household. So, so that was what the better half of my life was about, So it was now about figuring out, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I like to do? Because there are things that I took from my life then and my marriage that, it helped me to become the person that I am today. So there was taking that and departmentalizing the things that I wanted to move forward with, what I didn't want to move forward with, what I needed to reinvest my time and energy in figuring out, and that type of thing. So, so to be honest,
listen, ladies.
Listen, for me, okay, because then when I now was a divorcee, I was 34 years old, things were bad. I literally said to myself, I want to experience the streets. I want to experience the streets. Like, I don't know how to put it. No, not to say, Guti, we're busy with fair, but
respect to Jamie and Jody.
Like, no, I wanted to experience different people, and I feel like I didn't know what my type of man was by that time. I got a man, and we hit it off, had kids thing, but I also wanted to discover different types of men and to discover what is the type of man that I want to grow old with. And in order for me to do that, I needed to experience different guys. And, so I was dating. I was on dating apps. I was on Tinder. I was on, I was going for free lunches and dinners. It was nice. Like, I was traveling the world. I was going everywhere. I was in London 1 month, here the next month, this, that. Like, it was great.
It was great.
And literally, when I met my now husband, I was not, in my mind, I was never ready for him. Don't know where he came from, and I don't know why God said, but there was a reason, and here we are now. Now we know the reason. Because at that particular time, I was still within my group, living my best life. I went through a weight loss journey. So, I felt flat, I felt hot. It was just, the combos were talking to each other for me to enjoy life. And honestly, that part also made me realize that that's not where I want to be forever. I knew that that the streets is also tiring, and the streets is not me. I got to learn a lot from that period, but it's not, I'm a home builder.
I know.
That's the type of person that I am. And I may have come out of the marriage thinking, damn, I don't want to do that. But I also got to realize in that period that actually this is who I am, and this is the type of guy that I want. This is the package God had given me. This is what I want out of, not sure what I found. Okay, never mind. That part you edit out, guy. I didn't say that. But, I was able to really craft in my mind that this is the type of individual that I want my kids to be exposed to, that I want them to, the type of role model that I want, because at the end of the day, that person was going to play a huge role in my kid's life. So it's understanding that and understanding the type of man that I want to be with. I got to now really be able to say with my chest that, God, this is the type of guy I want. So, yeah. And then, he really came before I actually was doing Sierra prayers or anything like that. He really just showed up.
Yeah.
How we met is somebody identified that, there's this person. I met a guy, his name is Neville, and we were doing some work together, and he knew then from that space that I'm single, and he got to understand my personality, and he was obviously a very sharp person in seeing my character, and saying that, I think, and he actually had reasons as to say, I think you would be a good match for this person because, he will add this kind of value to you and it would work. And he was 100% correct. Then somebody was like, okay, at first I was like, no, thanks. And then I got to meet my now husband. And I still said, no, thanks. and then, like on the first day that we met, I was like, no, thanks. And then I think a week later or a few days later, we actually got to have a conversation. And then like I had to let go of the initial judgment or initial reasons I said no, thanks. And then, the rest is history. But yeah.
Moral of the story, ladies, you need a Neville in your life. I'm joking.
You do need a Neville. It does help.
Yeah, it does
because
help.
the streets is rough out there, and
no, you are.
It's a lot easier to have somebody steer the ship for you a little bit.
You're definitely a home builder. Your house is always warm. Sundays at her house is like full on feast. Okay.
Not anymore, but yeah.
No, but the boys are gone now.
Yeah, so because my boys are gone.
Yeah, the boys are gone now. But yeah, your house has always been warm, friend. But now tell me, how does this process work? You've now identified that, okay, I've met somebody that I want to build with. And I think also then your ex-husband had already gotten married or was in the process. So how do you guys, you sit down and discuss, listen, I've got somebody in my life. They've got somebody in your life, because these people are going to be in your children's lives. How do you navigate such? And how would you advise people that are in the process or think about it and what you did wrong, what you wish you could have done, how you would have handled the situation? I know some people blend much earlier when children are little, but luckily for your kids were much older. For me, if I were to get married again now, my kids are very little. So it means that person will be maybe in my children's lives for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
Which is for you was a lot different, because afterwards, I think the boys went to boarding school.
Yes,
so it wasn't as involved as the day-to-day running of blending early. But however, he's still in the boys' lives.
Yeah.
Are also part of his children's lives. So how do you guys navigate? Do you sit down, say, I've identified my life partner. This is somebody I want you to meet. How did you guys do it?
Yeah, we're not so formal, eh? I mean, if I recall correctly, my ex-husband did have a meeting with me. I think we met in a mall somewhere, and he was like, listen, I'd already known, obviously, of the girlfriend, and, I think then they were living together. So it was a fully fledged, she was already in my kids' lives, and so forth. And then it was just a case of, listen, I'm getting married, So I was like, oh, okay, great, congrats. yeah, I'm not really sure how I told him about me getting married.
But
I don't
you
know,
respect
but
him for that?
yeah, 100%,
Thank you.
100% respect that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always had very we've always had a very clear common goal
Yeah.
that it's we are co-parenting, so the decisions that we make also impact the kids, so it's only fair that we know each other's things to an extent that where it impacts our children. And I think we've been cool about that. Yeah, and I think, I mean, he knows my husband, that they've, hung out, they know each other. So yeah, I think that was a fairly, easy transition. You get to know a lot of the blended families where the the wife doesn't get along with the ex-wife, or the ex-husband doesn't like the I don't think that's the situation. I mean, we're not bestie buddies and hanging out every weekend vibes, but we're civil where we need to come together for the children. Where it really matters, we do. So yeah, I mean that I'm happy about.
I've been blessed to be present in when the boys have birthdays or celebrations, and I love how you guys do it, friend. I know it's not perfect,
Yeah.
but kudos to y'all for putting the boys first. And God, we got a do-over. We had a beautiful wedding in Bali. We got our Mr. Dandara.
Yes.
Friend, how do you let your guard down and say, God, I'm gonna give it one more chance? Like that moment of saying, okay, I'm letting go. I'm letting go of control. How does starting over, in the sense that that this is not dating, now this is solid. Do you sit down and say, my guy, let's not mess this up? And also your husband was divorced.
Yes. Yeah, we both come from divorces. So, and we were also at an age where we both knew what we wanted at a certain point. And, we got to, learn each other and see, whether this is something that we want to build and want to have a life together. And for me, really, I had no, I've never been against marriage. I'm a lover girl. I've always been for the constitution of marriage and family and that type of thing. So, when I got into this relationship, it wasn't really, at first, because it took me a while to say like, oh, okay, so now, I need to be a committed girlfriend and all of that, which was cool. I accepted, and and then the relationship developed into something that I was like, okay, it must be marriage. I'm old. I'm not doing fat and sits that are endless, that are, either you are here to be a life partner with me and life partner in marriage, and we're building something together, or we're wasting each other's time. I knew that was, and I've always been very clear, once I established that, no, this is the real stuff. We are committed. Then after, I think it was 4 years, then we started to like have conversations like, okay, so what are we doing now? What's the next step? So yeah.
A partner you plan with.
Yes.
Partner you plan with. Are you guys taking notes? I hope you all are taking notes.
Yes.
Thank you for that, because we are wanting to know how you got to the Sierra prayer. But when you're more than a wife, there's more things. You wear more caps in your life. You're a businesswoman. You travel. Which country have you not been to? Like literally.
No, there's lots.
Lots.
There's lots.
But you get to do it while working.
Yes.
So tell us about the business where you are taking ladies everywhere. Tell us about Mommy Club. Tell us about the other work that you do. How do you balance and then still be so involved? Because I know that you're so involved in your children's lives. Like, you there, rugby game, traveling, whether Jodie's playing KZN, you there. Whether the one in London needs you, you there.
Well, I've been blessed with the fact that I'm my own boss. So I get to manage my own time.
Amen.
And I must say, like, I literally have been blessed with a great partner who supports me in everything, whether he's coming up with a Mommy Club logo or he is putting together a document for the Vietnam trip. he's involved in every single part of things that I'm doing, so whether he's just there to give an opinion or he's there to, check my spelling or check my, he's a part of a lot of things that, it kind of also, I'm able to also say, Ish, I need this done. Can you please just, do it? He's very involved because we also work together. That's also a dynamic of our lives that's interesting, is that we work together but we have very complementary personalities and skill sets that work very well. I'm not saying that there's no challenges, because trust, there are challenges with working with your partner, living, sleep, eat, breathe. Y'all are doing everything together. But I think, we are very conscious of the hurdles, and we do try to work on them. And I think because I have a supportive and present and participative partner, I get to be able to do everything that my heart desires. And that was one of the things I wanted in a partner. I did not want anyone or anything who's going to limit my possibilities in my life after, because a lot of the decisions and the part that I took previously, I felt it wasn't, you have unplanned pregnancy, and then you've got to kind of now plan your life according to that, I think, which I alluded to, I spoke about earlier. So it wasn't me just, navigating and planning and doing things according to my heart's desires, which is something that was very big for me post-divorce, was that I wanted to follow my dreams, follow my passions, and my decisions must be my decisions. I mean, don't get me wrong, when you go into a marriage with someone, it's to an extent you also don't have your own decisions. It's a team thing. But my husband allows me a lot of flexibility to be me and, and make me happy. So that is, something that allows me to be able to spread my wings in so many different directions, because there's someone at the center of it holding all the different parts together with me. And that's what I get from my husband, which I appreciate.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. I love it. I love it for you. And also Ed cooks, so it's such a bonus because he'll always be there.
He cooks. He cooks, and which is a really great thing, even if I'm down and out, he sees there's, I think my husband knows me better than even myself sometimes, because he really will predict, like, a pure example. My dad got married recently, and I show him, like, I there's nothing I don't share with my husband. Like, I show him dresses, and I say, okay, I'm struggling to choose, what. He looks at the dress, and I can tell he's not vibing. He's not, seeing what it is, the vision, So, okay, I get that vibe. And now, because I've gotten that vibe from him, I'm also now not confident in my decision. But I don't want to show him that I'm not 100% confident in my decision, because I just was like, But anyway, so now it also turns out that I couldn't find what I was looking for from a material perspective and stuff. So now the vision is gone because I couldn't find it. And then, so I had told him, because he was actually away at the time, and I said to him, okay, today I'm going to go and get the material to make the dress. And, at this point, we're not discussing the color thing and what's what. So he sends a message to himself on his WhatsApp to say, Lucille's going to choose this specific color dress, right? And then I get to Shamdo, I look for the material, can't find the material. Then I say to him, okay, there's green, there's blue, there's this, like, look at this, what do you think? And it's like, no, they're all nice. But anyway, make a decision and let me know what decision you make, right? I make a decision of a blue dress. And then I tell him, I'm like, I'm making a decision of a blue dress. He sends me the screenshot from his thing. And that was, I think, 5:34 in the morning that we were having the conversation, like, about me going to do this. This is my plans for the day, because we generally will discuss, what are you doing for the day? And he wrote on the message to himself, Lucille's going to end up with a blue dress. So he needs to plan like that. So then I ended up with a blue dress. Like he just, and he preempts a lot of my things, man. I don't know whether it's, sometimes I'm just like,
Yoked, friend.
But anyway, that's the way that I see it. Yes, and that's the one that I'm, running with. He really is a good pillar of strength and pillar of everything in my life, which, I really do feel like I have a partner, and that's what I wanted, and I thank the Lord.
It is so beautiful to witness Black love, Black positive stories, and to give hope, that you can take a decision and say, this is not working for me. And your life is not over.
Yes.
In fact, I'm a true believer in when things fall apart, it's when God is now rebuilding what he has meant for your life.
100%.
So we take away from this positive story, because when you were going through your divorce, I just gotten married.
Yes, I remember.
And, I remember the day that you got the official decree came, and even sending you flowers. I still lived in Pietermaritzburg, and I sent you flowers. And the next day, we had a girls' thing at your house. So I flew.
A divorce party.
I don't even like calling it that. But I flew to come and be with you and your girlfriends. For me, it was still so heavy because I was still in my honeymoon. I just got married and I couldn't. And I said, but we had just come from a holiday the previous year. Remember, we just come from
we went to Thailand
for our first vacation with our families. And in my mind, I was just like, but they were, but how did they end up here? But now I'm older, and I know that people are able to mask so much,
yes,
especially when they have children, when family is around. But I'm very glad that you both were able to identify and say, this is not working for your children, because I think it's important, again, for our children to witness you happy, to witness a positive side of love. And I'm sure they get to go to their dad's house and also see the dad happy. It's very important for children to see both parents happy. So at the end of the day, I think I am very happy to have a positive love story on my podcast.
Yeah. No, I get a lot of DMs from women that, also want, I want to leave, I wanted this. And a lot of the stories are around women that are staying in marriages for children. And I like, and I'm not saying because I did it for an extent, so I've learned from it, so I'm able to talk on it, and I'm very fast to say, ma'am, stop. That child does not want an unhappy mother. And you think kids don't see? Kids see everything. And we are not here to breed kids that need to live through endless therapy, through having to deal with the traumas that we have put them through. Yeah. Kids want to see happy parents, whether it's together, whether it's apart, they want to see happy parents. There is nothing like this whole thing of, I need to stay because of my children. Because honestly, you will come back when they are 20 whatever or 30 whatever and say, I stayed in that marriage for you. Yeah. And they will ask you, who asked you?
Yeah, I have a friend.
Who told you to do that? Did I ask you? And like, if you had told me that, or you had given me the option of you having to leave for your happiness and sanity, I would have told you to do that.
Leave.
I would have told you.
We're not advocating, for divorce and saying that, people mustn't try and whatnot. Yes. But the moral of this episode is just to share that there is hope. You don't have to die. Like today, we're filming on a day where the country wasn't shut down because of femicide and GBV and all these things. And the whole country was on lockdown today, just to bring awareness to so many issues that we go through in this country. Your issue is different. It wasn't abuse. It wasn't, it wasn't violence, but some people stay even in violent situations. And we're not saying that people must stay or people must go, but we're just trying to share that there is light sometimes. You can let go sometimes. There is another plan for you out there. There's
100%.
still a second chance.
Yeah.
And I love it how Mr. Dandara calls it. He calls it a do-over. I won't forget that. I used to love your
Yes.
do-over videos, by the way, because he's just so intentional about loving you and loving your children. And there's a speech that he said at your wedding day that still, when I'm feeling down and low, I go and I listen to. And he said, my favorite line in that, when he was saying his vows, he said that we both came with baggage in the relationship. And for me, it was just like, what? Like, he's considering the boys first and saying,
Yes.
can I get permission to be in your lives? Will you give me a chance to be in your lives and to make your mom happy? So there is hope. There is love, guys. Just love yourselves and put yourselves first.
100%.
Look at her. She's glowing.
100%. Love yourself. Yeah.
I'm still begging her to have one Dandara.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Like, we were actually having the discussion with my husband yesterday. We were like, imagine there was a little person running around here right now. Like, what would we do? Oh, no.
I'll bring the twins to turn the house upside down.
No.
You happy?
It's lonely though. It is. I don't want to lie. It is lonely because, Jane, I like the best, and I always tell my husband the best part of my life, even though it was, within a marriage that, I eventually left, was my kids' younger primary school, their primary school time, preschool, primary school. Those were the best memories that I have. But I still could not do it again. Like, no.
Even if we paid you.
But yes, those were the best times, of my life. I really always be like, oh God, can't these ones go back to being these little kids? But yeah, it is what it is. Now they are men.
Amazing men.
Yeah.
Those are my boys.
Yeah.
This season, guys, on Life Lately, we are unbecoming. Our theme of season 2 is unbecoming to become. Unbecoming what society tells us. Unbecoming all these versions of ourselves that we think we're supposed to be. We are becoming who we've meant and always been.
Mm-hmm.
What is your unbecoming moment before we close? What is your message today to women that are trying to figure out who they are, whether it's within a marriage or outside of a marriage? What is your unbecoming story, and what is your message that you leave out there to young girls? Tomorrow we're going to a 21st, so we have to
yes,
advise young girls also on things that we now know in our 40s.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm very intentional about the life that I want, living within my purpose, living in the things that make me happy. And that actually takes me back to my creation of the Mommy Club, that I created that circle. Currently we about, I think it's 18 ladies. We're actually going away next weekend for our first Mommy Club getaway. And that really was about me following my purpose. I'm about family. I'm about women. I've been an entrepreneur. I advocate for women being entrepreneurs and following your purpose and your path. And that is what I'm very intentional about. Even, adding my core business is marketing, right? Which we've been running Nefertiti since 2016. Love it, absolutely enjoy working in the marketing space. But we then established the travel part, and that was really based on passion. Like even now, we just come back from Vietnam with a group of 18 people, which it was really me living what I enjoy. I love creating trips. I loved it even before I started it as a business, putting trips together, seeing people, travel. I get excited to see, people living their best life out there. And, I want to be part of giving people those moments. I want to be part of making women be comfortable being mothers, not feeling alone, on their journey. And I wanted to find that space where I just felt at peace, and I felt like I was living within my purpose, because a lot of, I don't want to do wishy-washy things. I don't want to do things where there isn't some kind of self-fulfillment, which is very important for me in my life right now. There needs to be a level of self-fulfillment in everything that I must be selfish.
Yes.
Like if it's not, there isn't a level of self-fulfillment in whatever it is that I'm participating or doing, count me out.
Yeah.
You know, how am I filling my cup from that? Because there's so many other things in life that drain my cup.
Yes.
So how am I? That was actually one of the things that this was like, okay, what do I want to do that fills my cup, that keeps me excited, keeps me, happy? And those were the things. I want to travel. I want to give back in a way to mothers, entrepreneurs, and then I was like, okay, let me birth the mommy club. And so far, so good. They fill my cup. I fill their cup where I can. Especially like when I traveled with the ladies now, it really did fill my cup. Just being with people who were appreciative of the effort I put in to plan, and just being appreciative of being able to travel. Not everybody gets to travel, and just being within the moment and enjoying and, living their best lives. I want to see people always living their best lives. So I get to do that, and I feel like, wow, that for me, I feel really blessed that I get, it's not easy navigating, trying to do all the things, but I'm blessed that I have the platform of the people that are in my spaces to be able to offer the service or, be part of a circle like Mommy Club.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, my advice, especially to older women, is, live within your purpose, identify. And I think also identifying when I met my husband or even before was, what filled my cup, what made me, what actually makes me happy outside of my husband, my children. Because it can't be also 100% of your life is reliant on fulfillment and self-fulfillment from these people in your life. It's a portion, but it can't be the whole thing. So yeah, I really did a lot of, after I turned 40, I did a lot of introspection on that. And I think people, they goal set and they what and they, make it like a material like thing. But it doesn't always have to be that. It really just needs to be, it's just something that's gonna give me a pocket of joy, and that's all that I need. And and then the rest will shape around it.
Be selfish.
Yep.
Moral of the story.
Yes. Be selfish with yourself.
Be selfish with yourself, especially mothers, because no one pours into our cups.
Yes.
Thank you, Lucille Dandara, for coming today.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
I know it was a hectic day for you, but thank you for making it. And thank you for just sharing your life with us and your experiences. Guys, here's to second chances. Here's to do-overs. Here's to filling your cup intentionally.
100%.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and do comment on the section down below, like and subscribe, and share this video. Thank you so much. You have a good afternoon.